everybody, this is White Hat Southern Style, and we're bringing a little bit of Southern to your life. Today we will be making a jewelry hanger out of a recycled picture frame. I love to recycle things, and I've had a couple of picture frames around that I didn't like, so I have figured out what I'm going to do with them now. You'll need your old picture frame, you'll need some metal flashing, a permanent marker, a ruler, a pair of scissors, some cardboard, and a pair of sheet metal scissors to cut your flashing if your regular scissors won't work. I use sheet metal because it gives you a nice clean edge and it's just so much easier to cut through the metal. I had a picture frame that was gold. I didn't like the gold, so I repainted it a custard yellow. I then took, after I'd taken everything out, I took and kept a hold of the original picture, and I used it to measure out a piece of cardboard and a piece of my flashing. After I had the flashing cut out, I took my ruler and my permanent marker. You could use an erasable marker, but if you slide your hand over, you're going to automatically erase your marks and you'll have to start all over again. So I used a Sharpie because if I messed up, I could just rub my finger over it with a little bit of pressure and it would go away. Then I would take my ruler and I measured down the side every 2 inches and I made a mark. And I did the exact same thing on the other edge. After I'd done that, I took my ruler and stretched it across from mark to mark on the edges, and I would dot every 2 inches on this line. And then on the middle line, it was a little different because I wanted the dots to stagger. I started with the 1 inch. And then I went to 3, 5, 7, and 9. And then on the bottom, I just did the 2-inch mark again. And that gave me my spots for where I would then take a push pin and push it completely through my flashing, which it takes a little bit of pressure and you need to be very careful because your flashing can cut you. So if this is a young child or kid, ask your mother or your father for some help for this part because it will cut you, and I've done it a few times. So after I had all my little holes punched out, take all my pieces together and I'm going to put them in the frame. I'm going to start. It takes a little bit of finagling and a little bit of finesse for the sheet metal to get it around the staples. So I'm going to put it in first, and then I'm going to take my cardboard and I'm going to put it in afterwards. I like to do one at a time because it takes just a little bit to get them in there. And then I'm going to take the old picture and just put it in the back also for more support. So I kind of repurposed the frame and the old picture. Then, I forgot to tell you, you're going to need a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver to pry the staples up and get everything out of the inside. And then what I'll do is I'll take these and push down all the staples around the edge. After I have that done, it'll look like this, really pretty and simple. I also have these thumbtacks that they're not flat on the bottom like regular thumbtacks, they're round so that when you push them in they don't hurt your fingers. But what I was going to do with them, because they're so pretty and round, is I'm going to just push them into my board and they're just going to go flush up against, oh, that one's bent, we don't want the bent one, up against the flashing. And then we're not going to do them all on the video just yet because this is going to take just a few minutes. So once I get them all in place, you can see that they kind of stick out the back. So this is where having more cardboard than what you really need comes in handy, because if you notice that once this gets pushed down and all the staples get pressed down around it, it is actually going to go down in the frame some, and you're going to have a space between it and the frame. And when you're doing this, you need to be very careful, because I've actually poked myself with a screwdriver. But because they stick out the back, this is what this comes in handy for. You're going to take your extra cardboard. I'm going to go ahead and I think I'll go ahead and put the rest through. It takes a little bit of push to get them in there because there's so many layers. But it's just, I know it is just so pretty when you're done. And when you're pushing through, watch your hand on the back so that you do not poke yourself on the other side of your board. Because that'll really hurt also. I should have done this a minute ago when I was doing it to begin with. So we're going to get all these pushed in. Doesn't they look so pretty? And see, when you don't have jewelry on there, you're not going to be a big sightly eyesore like if you would have used one of these. So when you take a piece of jewelry off, they'll be nice and pretty. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cardboard and I'm going to push it down over. Let's see how far I can get away with pushing this. Oh, that'll go over one whole piece. And what I'm going to do is hold the cardboard and just give these a little push on the other side also, just to make sure they stay flush up against the flashing. So I'm going to push them on the cardboard. Watch your fingers. Keep watching your fingers, otherwise you are going to stab yourself. Up, just like I just did. That hurts. Let's see. Can I get all of this? Yes. Alright, see how nice that is. Not very pretty, but it works. But that'll be hidden anyways. Make sure all of them are pushed down against my flashing. And then the other reason you needed extra cardboard was because after this they still stick up just a little bit, but this brings your back flush with the back of the picture frame. Then after you are done, you can take hot glue or just regular Elmer's craft glue and put around the edge, and take and measure out another piece of cardboard that is the exact size of your frame. You want to maybe make it just a little smaller than the frame so that it's not noticeable on the edges. And what I had to do was I also had to notch out my cardboard for my hanger. So, and I give it just a little push to get the tips tapped in there. And if you see, they're just stuck out just a little bit and they don't go completely through this one. And then once it's glued and on there, it will look just like this. And then you can hang jewelry on there and it'll be very pretty. Thank you for watching. This is White Hat Southern Style, bringing a little bit of Southern to your life.